I'm sorry, chat. Yeah. Be sorry. Be sorry. Everybody boo this man. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna untime him out now. Oh. Yeah, boo the podcast guy. Yeah, keep booing him. Keep booing him. It's really funny. It's really funny.
We're vibing. What deck am I going to learn for the new format? Gotta get to the new format first. Cause I'm all alone.
I'm calling you, by the way. Oh,
okay. Hello.
Boo.
Boo the podcast, man.
Boo podcast, man. Boo podcast.
That's fair. That's fair. We should have done this like every other normal person on Earth, and I should have just done it like a live reaction or something. What's up, Inspired?
Yeah, something like that.
I probably should have. But I wanted to wait to do my Banlist thoughts for the podcast, but I'm dumb.
Yeah, so. I can't believe that you didn't just immediately fucking full send it.
I know, right? Some people.
This is weird. You're in the wrong place because
I know, I'm having issues too.
Yeah, it's because Skyhawk's not here.
Yeah, I'm having to reset everything on my end too. Yeah.
Hashtag Skyhawk fault.
True. Pick up D-Link. What are you, nuts? That deck's way too hard for me. I play Sword Soul.
D-Link best deck.
I didn't say it wasn't the best deck. I said it's too hard for me.
D-Link best deck. This is so awkward. Look at my screen. Look at how small I look. Like, look at my goddamn screen.
Hold on.
It's a giant picture of you.
Click on my picture.
What?
Click on the picture of me. Click on my video feed.
Yeah. I see.
We're getting there. By the way, chat, Trish's chat specifically, not mine. Mine is already here. Trish's chat, if you want to get a good view of the podcast with me on it, you can do that by going to youtube.com and searching Top Cut Podcast and finding us live right now on YouTube.
Don't do that.
Can't hear podcast. Oh God, is that me? Did I do something wrong?
Probably. Usually when something goes wrong, it's your fault.
Can my chat hear me? Because my mic is working.
It's probably my fault.
Okay, good.
Let me. Oh, I know what happened. Hold on.
Better you than me.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear him now?
Yeah.
I forgot to change stuff in studio mode, so I was just like in a scene that didn't have a. I was in a scene that like randomly didn't have a microphone attached to it, because I forgot to switch into studio mode before I started making changes.
Trey, Inspire TCG. How are you, bud? I see you in chat. Are you what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. Are you enjoying having successful players on your team, topping every event, winning every regional? Are you enjoying that? Has that been good for y'all? Guys, if you haven't, check out Inspire TCG over here on YouTube. They're doing all the deck profiles, like Triff's deck profiles, I believe, are on their channel and stuff like that from the regionals this past weekend. Who I think
Stacked team, by the way.
do what?
It's a stacked team, by the way.
Yeah, it's a nutso team. So, Trey, let me know if y'all are looking for players for next season. I'll join the fucking G squad. I'm not on the A team, definitely not the B, not C, but I'm like somewhere around G for sure.
The G squad.
Yeah, I'll be on the G squad. I'll represent.
Yo,
So
that's one hell of a statement. Yo, Zesty Bravo. Thank you for the raid, homie.
Raids are always good.
Yo, shout out Zesty. This what happened to Cap G squad?
Speaking of Cap G squad, are we going to North Carolina again? That was fun last time. Are we doing that again?
No, I'm down.
I'm super down for North Carolina. The G squad doesn't exist. It can. That's where I'm at.
We're refugees. Oh no.
Oh,
Not
no.
the refugees from Cap G Big Pimpin' chat.
Yeah, dude, I'm so down. We got to go to that arcade again. Let's go.
Oh, fuck that. Hell no.
What? Come on, man. $2 mimosas?
Okay, the $2 mimosas were crazy, but like the games were a scam.
Well, yeah, but that's because they're doing $2 mimosas.
Yeah, $2 mimosas are kind of weird.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, if I can get drunk on like $10, I don't mind.
Send it.
Yeah, I don't mind the arcades being expensive.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so you wanna react, Andy, to this ban list?
Abso-freaking-lutely, I do. Let me get the ban list pulled up. I guess I should do that, huh?
Yeah, I don't really remember what was on the ban list. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's too much to remember.
You got one of those nice little pictures from Twitter or something?
I mean, I do. I could just send you a link though. Would that be okay?
That works.
To the actual physical real ban list. Big if true. By the way, what a list. I haven't talked to you about it. Me and Skyhawk did like a 30-minute discussion, which he put on his YouTube page if you want that. But wow.
Pog.
What a list.
See if I can find a picture, because it's easier to think about in picture form in my mind.
Oh yeah, if you just look up Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, it's pinned to the top of their page.
I found it.
That's where I got it for the thumbnail. By the way, the thumbnail, I didn't send you the thumbnail, did I?
No.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Callie's reaction will never beat Russian though. Wait, what happened with Callie? I'm Ruxin. Which chat is Sunny reading more so we can ask him questions?
I actually have both pulled up simultaneously.
You're such a
But
nerd.
I'm reading mine more because go to mine. Mine. That way you can actually see my face. My real face.
I don't know. The funny sideways picture is kind of good. I kind of like the funny sideways picture more than like real Sunny.
I mean, fair. For those that have seen Real Sunny, the funny sideways picture is kind of an improvement.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
In my mind, you are just like a static image. Like I don't think of you as a real person. I just think of you as a static image because of the podcast.
Crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, for those that don't know, me and Trish met at Nats this year at Raleigh, where I proceeded to get fucked up on $2 mimosas. It took me 3 mimosas. It was great. I love being a lightweight. Where the fuck is Real Sunny? I'm right here. What do you mean, where am I at?
He's right there.
I don't have a camera feed because my camera only does live streaming or Discord, not both.
This is just what he looks like. What is his Twitch? He doesn't stream on Twitch. He streams on YouTube because he's a bozo.
I can link my YouTube though in your chat if I
Oh.
don't get banned for it.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, oh no, their YouTube stream, Andy.
In my mind, I thought that it was going to be good to do our live streams on YouTube. Oh, I got auto banned.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened. That's crazy.
Well, I didn't know that. I don't know if you banned me or me posting a link got me banned. I didn't know which.
I don't know, man. The Twitch gods must have sniped you.
I don't know. All your laughing says otherwise. I can still see the camera feed.
Can you? Are you sure?
For now, I can. All right, you ready?
Fair. Yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Podcast. Today, we will be reacting to the ban list and discussing all of that and the meta implications that come from it. But today, first, we have to get paid. So let's thank all of our wonderful sponsors. A huge thank you to Steelfox Games as well as ETB Games. And of course, those are my two locals. You can check them out down below. And of course, be sure to check out all of our affiliate links, which are in the description down below. We have discount codes for all of them except for TCG Player. That is just a regular affiliate link. You can just click them before you shop, put on our little discount code. It's usually Top Cut 5, or the one for Gem is Top Cut Podcast 10, but everything else is Top Cut 5. And you can go ahead and use that code on Tier 0 games. You can use it with Gem Accessories, Chainlink TCG, Grimoire Accessories, and I'm definitely missing one. Dragon Shield, that's it. So, of course, be sure to check all of those out, and thank you all for your continued support, and thank you, of course, to all of our patrons for their continued support of the podcast. And I am here with my co-host, Mr. Trishula TTV. How are you?
Tired.
I feel that, dude. I've worked so many hours this week. I'm already over like 50, or not 50. I'm like 40 to 45 this week in like 4 days.
Yeah, I've still just been like trying to sleep off DC Cup. I think in the past like 4 days I've slept for like 30 or 40 hours. Like I've just been sleeping like all day every day.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just in the last 4 days you've slept as much as you did in 1 day on the DC Cup. That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, how are you feeling now that the rankings have been finalized on the DC Cup?
Not bad. I mean, like I moved up in the rankings. I was originally like 78th and now I'm like 57th. So that's not too bad. Still hungry for the top 10 though.
At least you get more points though. They gave you like 20 extra spots. So
yeah, 500 season points. It's something. It's something.
Yeah, it's a lot better than outside of the top 100.
Right, because that is no points.
Yeah,
that is literally 0 points.
And all you cheaters in the DC Cup, that's right, they got you. They got like dozens of you. Yeah, literally 20 bozos just punted out of the competition. Amazing. So
I don't know if they were knocked out from being cheaters or if they were just like a few of their games hadn't been calculated yet.
Oh, you think it might just be like a tabulation thing rather than like a...
That's usually what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, still, if there were any cheaters in there, get wrecked, bozo.
Yeah. I still wonder about the guy who was hacking. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter, but there was one guy who was hacking who was just like infinite stalling people with like a game that could not time out. I kind of wonder where he ended up.
It says you got refunded your points in games you lost to a cheater. That's what a chatter said.
Oh, that's weird.
So I guess they took the cheater, and anybody they found that was cheating, they just found everybody they played against and gave them all a win. So it seems your rank might have gone up because of points that you got back from that.
I didn't see a message about that. I'm interested now. You can continue with what with the next order of business, but I'm gonna pull up Master Duel and see if I actually increased the number of points that I got.
Yeah, I'm not sure because that's what a chatter is telling me now. Can you trust a chatter? I don't know, but we're gonna. So Of course, let's go ahead and get on into the big Pog Andy moment, which was thankfully Konami, right after we got done recording the last episode, decided to release a ban list right at that moment. So
that is true.
I'm not going to sit here and complain about the ban list at all, because whether we got it early or whether we got it late doesn't matter. The point is we got it, baby. That's right, we got a ban list, Rooney. So, you want to go ahead and discuss this ban list a little bit and see what we feel like? We want to go card by card, or do you want to just talk about it as a whole, or both, or what?
Either way is fine with me.
All right.
The interesting thing to note, I think it was Tombox that mentioned it on Twitter. I'm not positive on that. But apparently they moved exactly 25 cards on this ban list.
I saw that, yeah.
And it is also Yu-Gi-Oh's 25th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So coincidence? Maybe not. Yeah, probably not.
Can we get can we get like an update like that? Like every oh, it's the 25.1 anniversary. It's the 25.6 anniversary. Just every move a couple dozen cards every list. It's way more fun.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a list this big since
before
maybe the
COVID.
end of TOS format. Yeah. Either TOS format or maybe even Duelist Alliance was the last time we had a ban list this big.
Yeah, I want to say there was one last summer or something like that. The list that they like limited Halki Fibrax and Shooting Riser and stuff. I want to say that one had like 16, 20 cards on it.
There's no way it had that many cards.
It may not have even been that list, but I want to say there was 2013 the last list that we had that was that big. One of your chatters said it was. I don't know. I'm inclined to believe chatters.
I think it was TOS format. Like it was either TOS, like when
2013
Salad
had one that was 50 cards.
Yeah, that was like around that time. Like Dragon Ruler / Duelist Alliance, there was like a huge ban list.
So the September 2013 ban list was the one that was
Was that the one that merged or like separated the ban list?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it was like almost right around 50 cards deep. And then Duelist Alliance was Duelist Alliance debuted in August of 2014, so about a year later.
No, I'm talking about the one that like rotated out Duelist Alliance.
Hey, chatter in Trish's chat, if you want the latest deck list, it's !deck, I believe is what the one that it is.
You are so petty for taking time out of the podcast for that. The podcasters are gonna have no idea what you're talking about. They're gonna have no idea what has just happened.
You know what though? I feel in on the joke now, and it makes me feel really good. Okay, well, yeah, the people listening on Spotify are just clueless about that guy getting banned. But let's go ahead and check out the actual list. So first things first, Agito, the Ancient Sentinel, as well as Kelbeck, the Ancient Vanguard, banned, baby. This is
Miller's gone.
Let's go. Lightsworn players mauled. This is a good thing.
Lightsworn players. I mean, this is a tier hit, but there is Lightsworn support coming out.
It is actually a tier hit. You're right, but I made a bet with a friend about the Lightsworn stuff, so that's what's on my mind. Did you hear about this? I put it on Twitter.
No, I didn't hear about this, but to me this hit doesn't even feel like really a hit that's that surprising, because this was the hit that we got in Master Duel like months ago for the Millers. And something I've noticed is that Master Duel seems to weirdly be influencing like the ban list.
I've seen that too.
And that kind of comes up with our next card, which is Mathmech Circular got banned.
Which is also weird.
Yeah, because nobody was playing Mathmech, but it got banned. It's banned now. But it's really funny because Mathmech is kind of like public enemy #1 in Master Duel right now, because it won like 3 MCSs back to back to back. And everybody's just complaining about it because, you know, Circular's at 3. They have all the firewall stuff now. So that deck is doing really well in Master Duel. And it gets hit in the TCG. So something's weird about that.
It is weird. It would have been funnier if they banned diameter, but it is weird.
Put diameter to 1 for the culture.
I mean, didn't they ban it in Master Duel?
No, they put it to 1.
Oh yeah, that,
in Master Duel for the culture. Yeah, for the culture.
So I think that the tier hits are based and good. The millers, I think it's the shufflers being legal is fine. Definitely at 1.
I agree.
People are saying you can peel them off, and I'm like, it's a bit soon for that. I don't know. Maybe not.
Oh no, I think they can definitely come off the list for sure.
You think the shufflers are fine at 3?
I don't think the shufflers were ever really the problem.
I mean, they weren't the problem, but they were part of it.
Not really, because all they really did was just get you into the millers. The millers were the thing that was scary because they would just mill your whole deck. The shufflers, the only thing that the shufflers were scary for were like the Tyrolement mirror match. And if you're not playing a tier match, like a tier mirror, shufflers are kind of fine. Also with Runic doing so well right now, the shufflers should kind of come back in my mind because like that's some of the best Runic counterplay that we have in the game.
True.
So anything that hurts Runic is good in my book.
So we need to ban the shufflers. I like the Runic cards. I think the Runic cards are cool and based.
Shufflers to 6 and Imperial Order to 3.
Let's just talk about the next card, which is Isolde. Two Tails of the Noble Knights is banned. Later, Bozo. This card sucked. It was unfun every single time it was ever legal, except it was kind of cool in the Makonko deck. But even then, that deck was doing unfun stuff, so...
Yeah, I don't know how Isolde dodged like 8 ban lists. Like this card 18. Just is like not. Yeah, like this card did not deserve to be legal for like forever. Warrior being an FTK whenever you see it is just kind of much.
So what's interesting is there an argument that the generic power extra deck cards like Hauki Fibrax and Isolde and things like that, Electromite even, like stuff like that are just like, is there an argument that those are like cool enablers and we should let them be legal for the combos and just let the combo pieces be banned?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is an argument for that. I've always been kind of like a supporter of that game balance decision that like some of the like broken extra deck tools, you know, they're fine because like it kind of puts decks on a little bit more of a linear path to where you know how to deal with them.
True.
But I don't know. At the same time, I think a lot of these cards have also had their run, and like it's fine to just rotate them out of the game now because they've had their time in their spotlight, and we can move on to new, better, more broken things.
I think Chad is right. I think it's probably actually getting banned, not because of Infernoble or because of Makonko. It's definitely the Exodia FTK. Jeff Leonard got this card banned, and nobody can convince me otherwise.
For the culture, I'll
Mystic Mine, Isolde. We can keep thanking Jeff Leonard. He's just wait. Whatever the next problem card is, everybody wants gone. He's gonna break it in a weird way, do an FTK on stream, and it's gonna get banned on the next list.
Yeah, Jeff is the harbinger of banning weird cards.
Jeff is going to come up with like a D-barrier combo deck that just recycles D-barrier every play and going to get D-barrier banned. Watch.
Yeah, down.
Let's hope. So, and in that vein, Link Cross can be unbanned, right? We can unban Link Cross.
100%. Please give me back Link Cross. I'm sure I can be trusted with this.
Oh, Chad is so right. I just described Labyrinth. I just forgot Labyrinth existed. He doesn't need to design some weird funky deck that recycles D-barrier. Konami did it.
It already exists. Yeah,
Konami did it for him.
Exist.
Oh no!
Activate transaction rollback. Target D-barrier.
Oh god. Oh, kill me. Okay. All right. Overall, you know what? I changed it. Let's bring Chaos Ruler back. That would be funny. All right.
Oh yes, please. I can definitely be trusted with that. Please bring Chaos Ruler back. Please.
And Super Heavy Samurai Scarecrow. So what?
Calm down.
Calm down. what are we thinking about the bans? Do we feel like this is appropriate, good? Does this fix a broken format? Does this break a fixed format? What are we doing here?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think this format was really broken in the first place. This format was pretty fair, pretty diverse. I think if anything, what was broken about it is that there was just too many options. But I think that they're just using this as an opportunity to remove cards that like down the road could be a problem. And that tracks for me. I sold generic just makes any 2 warrior monsters into potentially a full combo deck. Agido and Kelbeck just makes milling cards in general overpowered. And then circular is not really doing anything, but so that one to me is a little bit weird, but that also to me reads like sometime within the next 6 to 18 months, they're planning on printing some type of really solid cyber stack.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about that.
And because Mathmech Circular on its own is like 4 Cybers monsters just like for free, it tracks to me that like they might be getting rid of that just so that like it doesn't encourage people to throw it into every cyber stack that exists.
Yeah, I think that there is probably an expectation of we want to do more Cybers things. But this is just the Electromite of Cybers monsters. I mean, if it's even being used as the math package in Ad Ignister, not really the intention behind the card. It did what it needed to do. It made MathMech good enough to top events, and it did. But now we've come full circular. Okay, so I had to. It was too easy. Sword Soul Dad.
Moving on to the limited cards.
So next we have the first limited card, which is a card that was banned, but now it is no longer banned. Orcust Harporer. How are we feeling?
Oh, that's the first one on your list? Okay.
Well, I'm on the actual Forbidden Limited list, and when you scroll down, it's the first one you see.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Harporer can definitely come back. That card's not going to do anything. It's been legal in Master Duel since Master Duel released, and I don't think I've ever played against a serious Orcust opponent once in my entire life.
I would go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I would like to direct everybody to the meme posted in my meme thread of Willem Dafoe looking up scared, going Orcust Harporer the first time he sees a Bestial.
Yeah, like the Bestial's existing now. Like maybe if this card had come out like 2 years ago, like maybe 3 years ago, maybe it would have seen some play. But this card is just way past its prime. There's no way it's doing anything like relevant.
Yeah. Next card we have is Redox, Dragon Ruler of Boulders. This card can go to 8, right?
Yeah, I'm genuinely confused that this is the one that's like coming back third, because I feel like Redox in the TCG is probably the worst Dragon Ruler because there's no real good Earth targets to go with it.
I mean, that's why.
Yeah. Like we don't have Max C, so like there's no generic good target. Like the Earth stuff archetype that was good for a little while, like like with Black Dragon and stuff. Like I guess that precluded it. Fenrir being a thing, maybe precluded it. But
could you imagine Black Dragon being legal with Redox in Adamantipator?
Yeah, actually, it's called the OCG.
Oh, it's called Master Duel. I forgot. My bad.
No. We banned it finally.
Oh, that's right. They banned Black Dragon. I forgot.
Yeah, but it's legal in OCG still, I think. Yeah, they don't play it. they don't play it. So that's kind of the thing with the Dragon Rulers is that nobody plays any of them. Like they just don't do anything.
So how long are we going to keep up this ruse of it's okay to unban all the Dragon Rulers for the D-Link players to just rejoice when all the Dragon Rulers are at 3?
You don't play any of them.
If they're all at 3,
I would never touch those cards and put them in my deck. They're all
really
awful. Yeah, they all suck.
That bad?
Yeah, they're bad. You just have better cards to play. Like I'm not gonna put in a random level Son of Egg Garnet that like is a -2 at best.
That's crazy to me. As someone who so for context, I started playing the game at like a competitive level just before or just after Edison format. Okay?
Yeah, and like these cards were crazy back then.
Right.
Like
I
because like
remember
I
when they
remember
came
that
out
too.
and literally completely changed Yu-Gi-Oh forever. Literally, Yu-Gi-Oh hasn't been the
Yeah.
same since. When these cards came out, that was the start of the modern era of Yu-Gi-Oh, bar none. There's no
Yeah.
question. It wasn't Duelist Alliance. It was Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy. And so for me, seeing these cards peeled off the ban list, I still have that moment in my head of, whoa, these cards are
Yeah.
scary.
I think the
So
truth is that these cards could have come back like 4 years ago and still done nothing. Because if you think about what Dragon Rulers did back in the day, they summoned 2 Draco Saxon past. That's like not even an end board.
yeah,
Like
I know it's not an end board in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know, man. I just
so
think that throwing that many bodies on boards, especially dragons, and then make them all level
no.
7 too. What if there's like a
No.
weird dragon ruler Kashtira pile
No.
nobody's seen? You know what I mean? Like,
No. No. People have experimented with that stuff in Master Duel and it's garbage.
really
And
that bad?
like in Master Duel they also have Auroradon legal and they have the rank 7. What's it called? The one that summons a bunch of tokens.
Oh,
Tomahawk,
Tomahawk.
Galaxy Tomahawk.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's still terrible. The deck is still just unplayable garbage. Even
that's
with
crazy.
like 2 more like insane tools. So those cards aren't going to do anything. The only one that has any potential is Tidal, and that's only because in the TCG we have the Water Enchantress at 3. So
Oh
the only
yeah,
one that has potential is just Tidal because you can like
been a while.
Tidal, discard Water Enchantress, foolish any card in your deck, and then like banish Water Enchantress from graveyard because you're not taking that net. You're not taking the neg.
Do you foolish
But
a
like
dragon or do you foolish a water?
I think it's any card.
Oh,
Yeah, title's like a generic foolish if I remember correctly. Might be any monster.
even so, I mean that's still definitely usable in something. Chat says it's usable in like water pile decks.
Yeah, like that's the point is that
I'll be honest, if
yeah,
water pile
it
is
sends
what we're
any
afraid
monster.
of, it's fine.
Yeah, I think title is fine. The only reason why it's the last one to come back is probably because of Water Enchantress, just because she's a water and she can splash into anything.
You heard it here first, Konami. Literally all of the Dragon Rulers can go to 3. No problem. Although I still think
Yeah.
Blaster and Fire King is cool. All right.
Yeah, I mean Blaster is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like Blaster.
Not good, but cool. All right. Next, we have probably the first major meta impactful hit. I guess Isolde was, but not like that much. But Rescue Ace Airlifter to 1. This is like a real like big boy hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Kinda, yeah. I think my take on Airlifter to 1 is like Airlifter to 1 is kind of a big consistency hit, kind of not, because it takes 2 starters out of the Rescue Ace deck.
Sure.
But like there's already starters that they could play that they just don't. Like they could play 1 for 1 now. Like you can just put 1 for 1 in the deck. You can put in, I don't know, like another copy of Impulse or something, right? Like
Sure.
there are other, or like you could play extra copies of the Diabell Star Witch. But I think the real thing that's interesting about this hit is that it gives you kind of a worse resource game with the Rescue Ace deck because there are fewer monsters in your deck that you want to summon in like the mid game and that you want to like get out of your deck. So I think this might actually be a bigger hit than people realize for Rescue Ace, because in my mind, Rescue Ace was already a very fragile deck, and was kind of teetering on tier 1. I don't think it was like so secure in its tier 1 spot that like any one hit would just phase off of it. So I think that this is actually kind of a little bit more impactful than you might think.
Well, we will definitely see. I do wonder. People have been saying that the new Bonfire card coming in Phantom Nightmare is going to be a big boost to decks like Fire King and Rescue Ace.
Oh, it is.
So, I mean this in the nicest, least stupid way possible. Bonfire Search is a pyro.
Think so.
How does that interact with Rescue Ace and Fire King?
believe it's the new Snake Eye. I think it's Snake Eye. It's like Pollux or something like that.
Yes, chat has informed me it is a Snake Eyes monster. So I'm guessing
Yeah,
it searches a Snake Eye monster, which gets you into the
and that one's
the
the
Diabell
starter.
Star package, which gets you into a level 1 fire, which gets you into either Pollux or Airlifter.
Something like that. Something like that, yeah. Poplus. Poplus
The
is the
Snake Eye
one.
Poplus.
I'll just pull up the exact card text just to reconfirm.
Immediately. Oh boy.
Yeah. If it's added to your hand
good.
except by drawing it, you special summon it. If it's normal or special summoned, you can add a Snake Eye spell trap from your deck to your hand. Then if it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a fire monster in the graveyard, place it in its inner spell trap zone as a continuous spell. So it lets you, like it searches the wanted engine, right? Which is your starter.
Is coming out to help
Yeah.
also. Okay. So between the release of the new Snake Eyes Populace and the Promethean Princess, all of these things combined with the engine, with the Diabell Star engine already being insane. Now, when you combine all of that, Rescue Ace Airlifter going to 1 is not good, but not the end of the world either.
So the reason why I think it's a bigger hit is that it doesn't give you as good of targets to summon like from your deck with something like Emergency, or it doesn't give you as many cards to search off of Hydrant like in the mid game, because like if a Hydrant's stuck on your field, right, like you could start your turn by Hydrant searching Airlifter, normal Airlifter, and then you search Emergency, and now you've searched the card and you have 2 bodies for free.
Sure.
Without that Airlifter to search, there's not another good normal summon in Rescue Ace. So it's kind of pushing you into searching stuff like Preventer, and now you might be playing like 3 Preventer and summoning Preventer constantly. It just makes the deck a little bit weirder. And what I think the real consequence of that will be is that Fire King, which also benefits from the Bonfire support, Fire King might be in a better it might be in a better position than it would have been if Rescue Ace hadn't had this hit,
right?
Because it would have had to compete with another obviously good fire deck. That said, though, I think Rescue Ace isn't going away for a while. Like I think the deck is still doing fine. I just think it might see a little bit more competition and like
right. Chat says, doesn't it help to keep you off HQ, which destroys the grind game?
Yeah, it does.
So that's another point against Rescue Ace here.
Yeah, like you're gonna have to start searching your HQ faster to like keep drawing.
And now you're more prone to 1 hand trap losses. Chat is really coming in with the info here. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
Next, we have Unchained Soul of Sharvara being limited. This is, from what I understand, a pretty big hit to the Unchained deck, because now you cannot end on your end board with a Sharvara underneath a Caesar as well as 1 in hand, which was pretty normal. Now, kind of need to make that decision, which I think every time you're going Caesar there, but even so, not having the Sharvara means that the Unchained deck takes an extremely large hit. I don't think it's nearly as good as it was, but also you'll still see Unchained as a splashable engine in some of these Fiend decks. Like you started to see Labyrinth Unchained gaining some real steam, and obviously people like Skyhawk, who, by the way, I forgot to mention, we're halfway through the podcast. Skyhawk isn't here because it's Christmas time. He had family come in, but he was playing a large Unchained package in Fluffle. So I think that when you have that splashable Fiend package, it's still going to be very playable. A lot of them were only playing 1 anyway, but in the pure Unchained deck, this is a pretty big hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, and one of the big things that I think about is that it now makes, like, now that it's at 1, it's pretty safe for you to just imperm Tour Guide, because like the thing that you always had to think about before was like, if your opponent normal summons a Tour Guide against you, obviously you want to hit that, right? But you don't want to hit it because you know that Sharvara is at 3, and they can just chain Sharvara, pop the Tour Guide, and then you're super punished. Now it's much safer because it's a 1 of, so it's like the chance that they draw it is
Slim.
way less than it was before.
It goes from like what,
And
33% to like 10,
yeah,
12.
so like a 23% loss of consistency
Yeah.
is pretty big. So having your tour guide, like having the starter get impermed is devastating for the Unchained deck. So I don't know. I think that deck's gonna fall off pretty fast. I think it's still like playable, but like I think it's gonna fall off pretty quick.
So for those thinking, well, Rescue Ace is falling off, Unchained's falling off, maybe I'll pick up Plants. Boy, do I have bad news for you. Next, we have Sun Avalon Dryas and Sun Avalon Healer. These two hits are 100% due to Jess Robinson. Thank you so much for doing this. Now, thanks to your efforts, Jess, I still don't have to read any of the Rico or Sun Avalon cards, at least not until the new support comes out. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Sun Avalon Dryas, the main Link 1 being limited, is huge. This is... It's funny because these cards are not something that 2 years ago... You never would have said 2 years ago, like, hey, this deck is going to get 0 extra support from here for 2 years, and these cards are going to get hit on the ban list. Nobody would have ever said that, but this deck is legitimately insane. So to have both, well, it's both of the Link ones, if I'm not mistaken, have been hit. A lot of people wonder, well, why not hit Aromatherapy Jasmine here? That's always been where you hit the deck, and it always will be where you hit the deck. Why not hit that card? Because with all the Aromatherapy cards, or I'm sorry, Aromage cards being released, I think in Phantom Nightmare, we have a new round of support coming out for those cards. So I feels kind of like they want to keep that intact for the deck, but only having one Dryas is brutal. The healer limit is kind of weird, but only one Dryas is just.
I think it makes sense. So one thing that's interesting about this is that this allows for Dandelion to potentially come back.
Think so?
Because unlikely, but potentially. Because with multiple Dryas and Healer, Dandelion was a 1-card FTK. Where you could just normal summon it, link it off into like Dryas or Healer. You summon 2 tokens, you go into Jasmine, and then you summon another Dryas and Healer underneath. You using the tokens, you get your search off, you get the tribute, and then you could just go into like some goofy lines with I don't remember what it was, but there was like some goofy FTK that you could do with just normal summon Dandelion and get you the whole way. But you would have to go through multiple of the Link ones to do it.
So one of each isn't enough. You need like at least 2 of each.
Right, something like that. So potentially with these hits, like they can think about bringing back plant monsters that have like graveyard effects. Because to me that's what this looks like. They're stopping you from infinitely abusing plant monsters that have graveyard trigger effects in decks that are not named Sun Avalon. That's what it looks like to me. But I thought that these were kind of weird because like the Rika deck is like solid, but it very rarely does much of anything.
Right.
So again, this is another one of those hits where I look at it and I say they are probably looking at releasing a card that these cards would be a problem with, like in the near future.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we have all the Romage support coming out in the next like in the next set in Phantom Nightmare. So
right
there you go. I mean, and then again, a reason that they don't hit Jasmine, because everybody believed that limiting Jasmine was probably the key. Not what happened. We'll see.
Right.
Maybe this means Glow Up Bulb can come off the list.
Yeah, I think Glow Up Bulb could probably come off the list, not gonna lie.
Yeah. So next we have Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar. So why is this card crazy? Because I never played with this card. Why is this crazy?
So this is a Dragon Link card, funnily enough. So the original version of Dragon Link was a deck that was transitioning out of being Thunder Dragons and was playing stuff like Draconet and Galaxy Serpent to make Ib the World Jealous Justicar, because it can search any card that says the word World Legacy in it.
So you'd use it to search Guard Dragon, you said?
Exactly. So it would search Guard Dragon, and what was cool about it is like you would there was some interaction too. I think it can summon like the actual Guard Dragon, like the level 1 from your deck,
right?
When it leaves field or something like that. There was some interaction, but like it would just make the whole field by itself, which was crazy. But it's also a really solid generic card too, because it can search Succession, so it just searches you a Monster Reborn. So this is a really interesting card. And I don't know if this card is going to be a problem or not yet. I don't think it's legal in Master Duel, and I'm not sure if it's legal in the OCG. But this is definitely a card that like pops up in unlimited format from time to time.
Really?
Yeah, like this is definitely a card that like slots in in unlimited format. So potentially a really strong card. Something that's like been kicking around in my mind, and I haven't like pieced it together yet, but I could see this card being potentially really good in combination with the Ringo Worm, the 100 Apple Dragon.
Yes. Make my Ringo Worms be valuable again.
Yeah, because like something in my head is something along the line of like a O-Lion token plus the Ringo Worm makes Ib Justicar, which then gets you a either Succession or World Legacy Guard Dragon, whatever your deck is aiming to do. And then because you Synchro summoned, you get the free token, and potentially you can even summon out the card from deck with Ib Justicar. Like things could get kind of silly with this card, and I just don't know like how we would get there yet.
The weird thing though is that searching World Legacy Guard Dragon just like isn't really.
Oh, that's broken.
It's broken?
That's so broken.
I mean, it was broken 5 years ago. Is it still broken?
Yeah, that card's broken. You get to summon back a dragon, and then you get to move a dragon.
It's
That's
Monster
a Pisty
Reborn.
for free. It's double Monster Reborn, because you summon Pisty and then you move it. And then Pisty summons a guy back too.
But like, isn't Dragon Link already more broken than that?
No. Like I'm taking that any day of the week if you hand it to me.
Like I know that it was used in Dragon Link back in the Gap, and that's why it got banned. I just wonder, like,
no, like that it's still good. Like that is still a good thing that you would want to have in a Dragon Link deck. And like even decks outside of Dragon Link can take advantage of this. Like you know, you could be going for the World Legacy Succession just for a free Monster Reborn, or you could, like, if you're playing some new type of combo deck that we haven't seen before, do like some Pisty shenanigans, because you could just summon Draconet, summon Galaxy Serpent. That's already a dragon. So if you want to go for like 3 bodies, that's 3 bodies right there.
That's true. Well, these are all things you can do, and what we can do is move on, because I just realized we're halfway through the episode and not even halfway through this ban list. So next we have Snatch Steal from 0 to 1. How are we feeling about Snatch Steal?
Traumatized. The last time this card came back, it was immediately rebanned.
2015, I believe, right?
2015 or 2014, yeah. Honestly, though, I think that this is fine. The one thing that's interesting with Snatch Steal over cards like Change of Heart is Snatch Steal can take control of Nor.
Yeah, so you want to explain this ruling, because everybody's been freaking out on Facebook about it.
Yeah, so it's Nor would be unaffected by the activated effect of Snatch Steal, but then the Snatch Steal changing control is a continuous effect. So it's kind of like how Nor gets negated by Skill Drain if they don't spin it right away.
Amazing.
But like that's never gonna work, because they're just gonna chain and spin the Snatch Steal back to your deck. Like that would literally never work.
Back to the deck.
But right.
Okay.
So like you can just chain Nor and spin the Snatch Steal back, but maybe you can like goober somebody, and somebody who doesn't know the interaction just thinks that their Nor would be unaffected, and they just say yeah, okay, and then you just yoink it, and then they call a judge, and they get told
And then
that
they call a judge.
yeah, like they call a judge, and the judge is like, no, that cat is theirs now.
That cat
So
belongs
like
to them.
maybe
They adopted that cat.
yeah, like maybe once in a blue moon, something like that could work, but
All I'm
that's
saying
really the
is,
biggest like use case in my mind.
when we get to the end of this list, you're gonna see why I'm just gonna build regular Sword Soul, take out all the hand traps, and just put in steal your cards in my deck. So
Yeah.
next we have Goes in Match. Oh, and what's that behind it?
I
Oh,
think
Rivalry of Warlords, and another
Yeah.
one. There can be only one, by the way.
We
Choosing
win.
Tikaboo.
We win.
Choosing Tikaboo as the image for the newly limited cards on the tweet, whoever did that, genius. There can only be one of these in your decks. Genius.
True. We've reached the good ending. Floodgates are at 1.
Literally, yes. Chat is correct.
We've reached the good
Goodbye and
ending.
good riddance. Go die in a hole. I will admit, no skill drain, no anti-spell. Kind of cringe. But
That's fine.
I'll be honest, I'm fine with, listen, I will leave skill drain at 3 and anti-spell at 3, because guess what? They went from 15 floodgates to 9. That's an improvement.
Like that.
So
I mean, skill drain and anti-spell too are like totally fine in my mind, because anti-spell, they allow you, like they give you a turn. The only time anti-spell is really annoying is if you're playing a pendulum deck, or if your opponent is doing some goofy stuff like a Trivair loop, and they're just bouncing your cards back to your hand so that you can never like actually play them. But anti-spell, that one's fine in my mind. And then skill drain also fine, because there's a lot of ways to activate monster effects under skill drain.
Agreed.
So,
you still have a hand, you still have a grave.
Yeah, and not only that too, but you can do like some fun interactions where if the monster leaves the field, skill drain doesn't apply to it anymore.
What would win? One skill drain negating everything on field, or one Vishuda? So,
or Book of Moon.
I do want to give my theory on why these got limited and no other floodgates that people complain about, like things like Droll, things like D-Barrier, which I complain about constantly, things like Eradicator. These like lingering turn-long floodgates and skill drain, anti-spell, none of those got hit. I have been saying for years that these 3 cards specifically, there's lots of podcast episodes of me saying it. I'm not saying this because MBT said it in his Banlist reaction video. This has been my opinion for a long time. These cards need to be banned, not because of the floodgate type of their effects, but because they are unintuitive. How many times have you gone to locals, gone to a regional, any tournament, and seen somebody trying to understand the concept of these cards not letting you attempt to do the thing? It's stupid. Why are the cards clairvoyant? It makes no sense. If I tribute the monster away, I should be fine. If I link it off, I should be fine. But no, it's stupid. It's dumb. These cards suck. Nobody understands why they work other than Konami said so, which I understand there's real like rulings depth in the rulings being what they are. But nobody gets that. These cards can go die. They should be banned, but I will take this because this means they probably won't really be played, which I'll live with. But these cards need to be banned because they're a rulings nightmare. If we can ban Victory Dragon for it being a rulings nightmare, we can ban these for the same reason.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody describe these cards as a ruling nightmare in my life.
They are. Not to you. You understand them. Not to me. I understand them. Imagine the guy at table 300 at a YCS calling a judge. Think about how many judge calls are caused by new players not understanding how these cards work. It's a nightmare.
I think these 3 are pretty straightforward. Like there can only be one I kind of get with that argument, but like Goes in Match, that one's pretty straightforward, right? Like you can only control monsters of one attribute. Same thing with rivalry.
But to say I have a, let's say I normal summon a Tri-Brigade Nerval. I can't link it off into Link Karibo. It's a different attribute. Why?
Yeah. Because it's a different attribute. You just answered your own question.
But I'm removing that attribute from the field and doing a different one.
Because you can still only control wind monsters.
I only have one. I only ever had one. It has to leave the field for me to summon the other one. You see now why we're having this debate and why people constantly...
I don't feel like that's real, but...
Are you serious? Really? Have you never seen this? Maybe it's because you're playing at top tables and I'm not. Maybe that's why I see this constantly. I mean,
struggle with I get it, but like I also don't think that it's something that's hard to understand either. Like you just tell like the first time that happens, you're just like, no, you can only control, like you're locked to like what you currently control. You can't switch off of it until that one leaves the field. And then they're like, oh, okay. Like I think that's as far as the conversation goes.
I mean, listen, in my chat, a judge right now saying, Judge, can I tribute my Empen by tributing my Rabina while under Tikaboo? Actual judge call from a regional.
Pain.
This is where we're at. Pain. This is why these cards need to go.
Well, there can only be one. There can only be one I get. Like the other ones, less so.
They're the same thing. They're the same thing.
I don't really agree on that.
Oh, they're literally the exact same thing.
But what I hear you though. Like I think that these are just
conceptually, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think that that's really the reason why they would hit them to 1, because if that was the reason, these cards would be banned, not at 1.
Chat. The issue I have is Kaiju's on an open field summoning to an opponent's field under rivalry.
Yeah.
Also, just rulings, dude. It's just everything about these cards is stupid. All right. Regardless, we all rejoice that they're gone, even if we disagree.
We're happy they're gone. Yeah, like I don't think that that's the reason why these cards got hit, but like I'm glad they're gone. I don't really care why they got hit.
I mean, it's a point against them, in my opinion, if nothing else. The fact that judges are having to deal with judge calls on these cards, whether it's something that like is understandable or not, the fact that it can even be brought up is reason enough. To me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
You want to move on to the semi-limits?
I want to just keep rejoicing in this for the next 2 years. I mean, but we will. Next, we have Dino Wrestler Pankratops. This card's going from 1 to 2, which, yeah, like you said, we're on the semi-limits, I guess. And while we're here, also Speedroid Terratop from 1 to 2.
These are meta relevant. I mean, all 3 of the semi-limits are meta relevant.
Are they?
Yeah. Because Pearly Sleepy Memory is also at 2.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely meta relevant. It makes it to where now, if you do, what is it, My Friend, you cannot guarantee Pearly Sleepy Memory goes to your hand. Is that right?
Yeah, they're never guaranteed one of the good ones. But like they also kind of are, like, because now they always just are gonna reveal Sleepy Delicious.
Sure.
But like they're never guaranteed any specific way into Nor. So that's cool. You know, I don't really hate that, but just more ways to deal with Pearly, and that deck's kind of annoying. So,
do we think that there's a world where they bring Delicious Memory to 2 as well? That way, they can't guarantee either of them.
I hope not.
But they have.
Why would they bring it up? Why would they bring it up the list?
Because if Sleepy Memory and Delicious Memory are both semi-limited, they can't do 3-ofs on either of them to search.
They already can't do 3-ofs because it's at 1.
I know. So why not just put it at 2? It's the same thing.
No. You're helping the Pearly players. Stop that.
I like Pearly.
No, bad.
Fine. All right. Well, why? Okay. Everybody says that Fenrir is better than Pankratops. If that is true, why is Fenrir at 3?
That is not true at all.
Everybody's been saying it. I've had arguments about this and discussions about this.
They're wrong. They're just objectively, factually wrong. Like, that is not even close to, like, correct.
I've been saying Pankratops is better since Fenrir got released. And I
Yeah,
have been ridiculed.
Pank has always been better. Okay,
I've been saying
just don't
this.
Don't listen to those people. They have no clue what they're talking about. Pankratops can pop any card. It's a quick effect. It can be in any phase, and your opponent doesn't have to do something for it to do it.
And you know I hear every time, but Fenrir searches Fenrir. I don't care. Pank is better.
Yeah, no one cares.
But can
that Fenrir is just
3?
sitting in your hand and doing nothing. Like Fenrir is a fundamentally different card. They do not fill the same role.
I've been saying that for years.
Pankratops to 2 is very interesting though, because we've been kind of missing these like mid-game kind of value trade type cards. So bringing it back to 2 is nice. Like that's definitely going to see side deck play. Because the 1 of Pankratops still sees side deck play. So 2 of Pankratops seeing side deck play is going to be very, very nice. Terratop to 2 also makes sense that they're just trying to bring it back because of Isold being gone.
Wait. How does Terratop help Isold?
It was limited because of Isold.
Why was it limited because of Isold?
Because of Goki. Because
but
Terratop is a 1-card MX Saber Invoker, and MX Saber Invoker makes Isold. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think about being a 1-card MX Saber Invoker because Invoker's banned.
Yeah, it's not in Master Duel. It's legal in Master Duel now.
Okay, well, that'd be fine.
But yeah, no, it's interesting that this is coming back. Maybe we'll see some rank 3 or some like link 3 stuff with Cherubini.
Is the Pank summon once per turn?
Yeah.
I think Pank to 3 would be fine.
Yeah, they're probably just like testing the waters with this. Like Pankratops and Terratop look like they're just testing the waters and they're gonna bring it back to 3 eventually.
Gotcha. I will say, someone in your chat mentioned it. And I would like to say the Speedroid Kashtira deck is very cool. Have you not heard of the Speedroid Kashtira deck?
No.
So it topped either London or Euros. I think Euros. It topped Euro. It topped a European event. It got top 32. And they were on a tear. They were doing awesome. And the only reason that they lost in top 32 is because their deck got stolen before the round. And they couldn't come up with all the cards to replace it.
That's
top
crazy.
32 at Euros. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the reason that we don't have like the deck profile. We don't have all the like everything for it. It just never saw. I don't know. It seems like a cool deck. But this does help that deck. And Unlimits Cashier Unicorn to 3 also helps that deck. So
yeah,
I think Konami just likes the Speedroid Cashier deck.
I have never seen that deck before, but it sounds interesting. I'm on board.
I mean, sounds cool enough to me.
I think Unicorn to 2 with Arise Heart Band was kind of goofy in the first place, so I think that's fine to bring that back.
But Unicorn to 3,
Infernity Art,
that's cool. I'm fine with this. I don't like the Cashier deck, but Unicorn to 3 is perfectly fine now that Arise Heart's gone.
Yeah, Infernity Archfiend to 3 as well is interesting to say the least.
It is interesting, but no lawn chair, so like probably fine, right?
Yeah, I mean they errated Firewall, so it's probably fine.
I don't know anything about Infernity's Archfiend lawn chair. Nothing. All I know is the memes.
Gosh. I had to play against this a lot in college. This deck can be goofy, but they had unerrated Firewall back then. So this is probably fine.
Sure. Mind Control to 3.
That's scary. That feels like a mistake. That does not feel like that should have happened.
Catch me at the regional playing Sword Soul with 3 Mind Control, Snatch, Steal, Change of Heart, 3 Triple Tactics Talents. Like, catch me.
That's really how it feels. Is like they've kind of just said, you know what, you guys can just steal monsters again. Like we don't care. Every single time that has happened in like modern Yu-Gi-Oh history, they have realized that was a mistake. And here's the reason why I feel like this is scary. nobody has been playing like Change of Heart, right? Like sometimes you catch like one Change of Heart in a deck. But here's part of the reason for that. It's not consistent.
Right.
It was at 1. So like you couldn't build a going second strategy off of the ideas like, oh well, I'm gonna steal your monster and run with it.
I call this deck Yoink.
Yeah, but now you have 5 Yoinks in your side deck.
5 Yoinks.
You got 5 Yoinks now,
you also
and
have
3 talents. Yeah, and 3 talents that is optionally a Yoink. That doesn't feel fair.
Also,
in my mind.
it's
That
really
feels
format
very
dependent,
unfair.
but Brain Con is errated, but it's at 3.
Yeah, Brain Control sucks though, because they over errated that card.
But in a world where
because
people end on non-extra deck monsters on field,
which is every format, it's just too restrictive. Like you would never pick that card over these other options.
I mean, it's just a normal summonable or settable monster on your opponent's field. Like,
doesn't have like other restrictions on it. Like it can't attack, it can't be tributed, stuff like that.
no, they just target one face-up normal summonable monster on your opponent's field and take control of it.
You mean not normal summonable, or
no? It has to be normal summonable, so it can't be like a Link or a Synchro because they can't be normal summoned.
Oh yeah, then that's terrible.
Is it?
Yeah. Why are you trying to yoink a main deck monster? Like you're only trying to spot remove like the scary cards.
All right. Fair enough. I'll give it.
Like maybe Brain Control would be good if Monarchs were meta, but like it's just not.
I mean, he said who has an end board with a monster that can be normal summoned. I feel like
Ashtira exactly, and like.
But I just said you said every deck.
You're like stealing.
You just said every.
But like, but those aren't the scary cards in Kashtira though. Like you're not trying to yoink a unicorn.
Why not?
Or a Fenrir.
Because
that's bad.
You can't stop me.
Because that's bad.
All right, Pot of Desires. Yay! My 3rd collector's rare is playable again.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this card was at 2. That was really funny.
Because that's the appropriate amount to play. But that's okay.
No.
Spellbook of Judgment to 3. This is fine.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Sprite Starter to 3. This is probably fine.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because they lost Elf. Elf was the whole deck. Like.
Yeah, that's kind of the sentiment that I've gotten from it too. And Upstart Goblin to 3, I think this is the most interesting move on the entire list. I don't think it's necessarily the worst or the best. It's definitely the most debated, I think, though. I think everybody just rejoices over basically every other move on this list. Mind Control to 3, people have been like, I don't know. This one, though, has caused some heated debate.
I don't see why. I think that this is a sign of the times. OCG has never hit this card, ever.
OCG didn't have Patrick Hoban.
Yeah, but like, Hoban theory doesn't apply anymore.
I agree.
Like, we're past Hoban theory, so you're never gonna put 3 Upstart on your deck unless you're playing Sky Striker.
I agree.
Because like those could just be 3 hand traps. Like, why would I cut 3 hand traps to play 3 Upstart Goblins? Like, that makes no sense.
Not only that, but the reason to play 37 card decks is because decks needed consistency in 2013. Now decks do not need that consistency. People now, not only do we not play 40 cards, we play. I mean, if we needed that consistency, like we would play 39. We don't. We play 45. We play 47. And some people just play 60 card pile decks because they can combo harder and not see their bricks. People are intentionally adding more cards to these combo decks because they are already so consistent. Why do we need to run 37? We can not see our bricks as often and run 45. And because of the amount of starters and extenders we're running, the math doesn't change.
Right, because now
Hoban theory's dead.
Yeah, like the thing is, before, like, games would go on for more and more turns, so like you wanted to see certain cards on certain turns, right? Like you wanted to see, like, I don't know, a Cosmojo or something early in the game,
was limited by
so that you like whatever you wanted to see some. you wanted to see those cards though, right? Also, I think there was a format where Cosmo Joe was out and those cards were at 3.
Yeah, I'm
I
open to
think there
being wrong
was a
about this.
format.
I thought Upstart got limited on
Yeah.
that.
It was right around there. That's why my head went to it. There was, I think there was like one format of overlap, maybe.
I thought that Upstart got limited when I was still playing the game because I feel like I remember us all going, "Oh, it's the Hoban hit!" Oh, well, in like 2013, late 13, early 14, something like
No,
that.
no. It was the Monarch cards were out when these cards.
Oh,
got
really?
hit. Yeah.
You know what? Sunny misinformation
Because
counter rises by 1. I'm fine with that.
there was the chicken game FTK
I
where you would
tried to
play 3
actually, and I
upstart,
got
3
actually.
yeah, like there was chicken game FTK for a little bit, like at the start of like that format, where
Sure.
you'd play like 3 upstart, 3 chicken game, 3 terraforming, a monarch draw engine, and then life equalizer and magical explosion.
So that was a part of the reason that Upstart Goblin got limited, in addition to like the whole
Yep.
Hoban theory thing. But
Yep.
I do wonder, at what point do we have too many draw spells legal? Because it's starting to
Not
get like
this point.
really easy to get really deep into the deck. You got Prosperity, you got Upstart. You can get
Well, but don't
anywhere.
forget though, a lot of those draw spells now have the
Limitation.
they have the limitation that you can only play 1 per turn, and they prevent you from drawing cards.
That is
So
very
like you're
true.
never gonna put Upstart and Prosperity in the same deck because you Upstart draw into Prosperity. Okay, you can't play Prosperity.
Yeah, and we
Or
still
like you
have
play Prosperity, you reveal an Upstart, and it's like this could have been anything else.
Into the Void is still, I think, limited. Is that right? Is it limited? Is it?
I think so. That'll probably come back pretty soon.
Yeah, Into the Void is limited. Upstart is at 3, but Chicken Game is still banned.
Yep.
What was the other one that's that does the field spell thing? Not Terraforming is at 1, but there was another card. Pseudospace?
Chicken game? Oh, wait, Pseudospace copy chicken game.
Is that what they were doing? Is that Pseudospace?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's probably fine to have Upstart at 3. It's
definitely fine.
I think it's fine from like a theory standpoint, like because the combo decks are not too worried about this, but I do worry about it from like being able to go deep into your deck standpoint. But either way, where is Skyhawk? I said that I know it's not real content without him. I know.
Yeah.
Skyhawk had family show up at his house at the
L
last
episode.
minute. He decided family was more important than the podcast. Boo, Skyhawk.
L episode.
It's okay. Like I said, we can handle it. So, of course, we want to thank all of our wonderful, wonderful patrons. So a huge thank you to Always Second, Little Earth Pigeon, Zyphorus at the One Palog, Big Stinky, Ding Dongs, hostess of the Yang Zing, Gimme Some More, Dragussi, Konami, HGH Cyber, John Lil, Mountain Man, Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado, Pistol Plays Pendulums, A Silver Hope, A Skyhawk Over the Beatles, Understanding and Reading are 2 different things, Virtually Savior's World, Visa, Star, Frosty, The Snowman. I like that. But you know who didn't change their name? Visa, Star Frosting These Nuts. Aaron Gardner, Alexander Chan, Asami, Ashlish Chaps, Atsuyo, Simp of the Silver Castle, Blackwing Silverwind the Ascendant is the best Floodgate, Blue Eyes is best Copium, Boxwine, Come On and Get Your Game On, Dragon Maidenless Behavior, Ice Jade will win a YCS before Swoo Swoo. I'm about to Rika Glamour tribute for Costy's planting nuts in your mouth. Not anymore, you're not. Level 4 Fire Warrior Gaming, Little Stinky, Max C Pack, Old Man Red, Pinko 143, Sinful Soils, Sunny's Internet Gremlin, and why does banning Circular and his shape, or I'm sorry, what does banning Circular and his shape have in common? They are both pointless. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the podcast. And if you enjoyed this episode without Skyhawk, be sure to @ him on Twitter and tell him how much you enjoyed this. So with that said, thank you all for joining. And until next time, have a great one, everybody. Why am I banned from your chat?
Oh, because it's funny.
That's fair. All right. I am gonna end stream. All my streamers, all my chatters. I thank you all so much for tuning in, but I gotta go because I just remember Skyrock's not here to record, so I gotta go post the actual podcast episode.
Classic.
Yeah, Pog. All right.